Same as the others who have done their presentation today, I will be talking about Sergei Rachmaninoff, Russian piano player, composer, and conductor, where his works have influenced many piano players in his time and the ones in the future as well. But due to the lack of video quality in his music that still survives, I'll only be using sound clips and not full length videos. So, to start off this presentation, I will be talking about his early life and career. Born on April 1, 1973 in Russia, Sergei lived in a wealthy household. Since his father, Vasily Arkadyevich Rachmaninoff, was an army officer and her mother, Lyuba Petrovna Budakova, was the daughter of a wealthy army general at the time, both of his parents showed interest in music. It influenced the young mind of Sergei at the age of 4. He started to take piano lessons from his mother, but after a few events led to one thing after another, his father had to sell his estates to compensate for the financial losses. The family then moved to St. Petersburg, where Sergei studied music in St. Petersburg Conservatory, and after a few years, he then later transferred to a school named Moscow Conservatory, where he was taught by Nikolai Zverev. Zverev? Anyways, a renowned pianist who have taught many others similar to Sergei. One of Sergei's early works is a song that will be played in a few moments of this video. Piano Concerto Number 1. During his final year at the Moscow Conservatory, Sergei had his first independent concert. The piece that he presented for his final composition examination was an opera named Aleko, and after graduation from the conservatory, Sergei entered into a publishing contract where he got most of his income. In 1895, Sergei has finished composing a song named Symphony Number 1. The song premiered in 1897 at the Russian Symphony Concerts. The piece of music was criticized harshly by several musicians, saying that it sounded like music that would be appealing to monsters in hell. As Sergei heard the critics, he had depression, which lasted for around 3 years. After enduring it for 3 years, he sought professional help to deal with his issue. He received help from Nikolai Dahl, a family friend and musician, and by receiving help from Dahl, Sergei regained his passion for creating pieces of music, where a year after curing his depression, he created a piece that is well loved by musicians all around. Piano Concerto Number 2. In 1904, Rachmaninoff was appointed as a conductor at the Bolshoi Theater. He demanded high standards of performance during his tenure, and gradually, Rachmaninoff lost interest in his post, and in 1906, he submitted his resignation. In the same year as well, due to some turmoil occurring in Russia, Sergei and his family moved to Dresden, Germany. Because of how the music scene in Dresden is more inspiring and conducive, he composed another song, Symphony Number 2, while in Dresden, which earned him his second award. It was also in this period that he returned to Russia in 1909. Rachmaninoff joined the Boston Symphony Orchestra. On their tour of the United States, in the tour, Rachmaninoff gave 26 performances as a composer, 19 as a pianist, and 7 as a conductor. In 1910, Rachmaninoff was made the vice president of the Imperial Russian Musical Society. In 1912, he submitted his resignation after some disagreements, and in 1917, at the start of the Russian Revolution, Rachmaninoff feared for the safety of his family. Around the same time, he received an offer to perform piano recitals in Scandinavia. Rachmaninoff accepted the offer and left Russia along with his family. In 1918, he moved to New York City and spent the most of his later life in the city. While in New York, Rachmaninoff derived his major income from performing and conducting performances. He had little time for composing, but the relocation to a foreign land had a huge impact on him, leading Rachmaninoff to produce only 6 works after relocating to the United States. Since it's American oil, he wanted to get out of the country. Rachmaninoff built a house on the banks of Lake Lucerne in Switzerland. From the comforts of his home, he composed Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini? Paganini? Well, here's the song then. And Symphony Number 3 in 1942. Rachmaninoff's health declined and he moved to California following his doctor's advice. And in the same year, during one of his tours, Rachmaninoff was diagnosed with an advanced stage of melanoma. On March 28, 1943, he breathed his last. His body was buried at the Kensico Cemetery in New York. Since Rachmaninoff had been granted citizenship in the United States a month prior to his death, his body could not be taken to Moscow as per his wishes. So, this concludes the presentation or video. If you were watching or listening, thank you.